Happy Saturday, welcome to Annoyed Gamer. I am Marcus Beer and I am here to bitch and moan on your behalf and on my behalf because things piss me off just like they piss you off. So today I'm going to talk about licensed games because when it comes to these licensing deals, the universe demands balance. For every great game like Arkham Asylum, we get Iron Man or Iron Man 2. When it comes to The Walking Dead, that has to be countered by the Thor game. And when we get games like Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, we get Aliens, Colonial, Marines. What does this tell us? That the universe is a mischievous mistress? Or maybe the universe is trying to tell Sega, don't do any licensed games. Perhaps they should listen because their track record, not so good. So what the hell is the deal with Aliens, Colonial, Marines? We saw an amazing gameplay demo last year and it looks fantastic, it looks cinematic, there's incredible dynamic lighting, there's lens flare, there's amazing misting, Hadley's Hope looks absolutely phenomenal and creepy. I mean, it looks how you would imagine your perfect Aliens or Alien game to look. And then we got the version that hit this week, which looks nothing like it. Now this to me is a little bit bizarre because normally in the gaming cycle it goes, okay, looks a little bit rough, then looks better, then looks its best, and then we ship it. Aliens, however, has gone from looking absolutely fantastic to what the hell are they thinking? The graphics are just ridiculous, just from the get-go. I mean, they really are bad. And then we'll talk about the gameplay, which, you play the first 15 minutes of the game and honestly that's the best it's going to get. AI is all over the place. The story really doesn't make sense if you are a fan, as I am and as a lot of you are, of the Alien franchise in general. In fact, it makes less sense than Prometheus. So basically, it's a really, really shoddy game. So what the hell went wrong? Well, it's interesting. The game has been positioned from the get-go as a Gearbox game. Now, Gearbox have a lot of love, especially from me. I love Borderlands. I adored Borderlands 2, one of my favorite games of last year. Yeah, they've had some up and downs. There's obviously some other titles like Duke Nukem that really kind of sucked the big one, but they seem to be on track. I installed the game on my PC, cranked all the settings up, hit play, and then the credits start to run. And what's this I see? Not just Gearbox on the opening credit sequence? 3 other developers? Really? So, in an interview with IGN recently, Randy Pitchford said that Timegate Studios worked on probably about 20 or 25% of the total time, adding that if you take pre-production out of it, their effort's probably equivalent to ours. Now, it's not fair to take pre-production out of it, but that says a lot about how much horsepower these guys put into it. So this Gearbox game that we've all been excited of, well, guess what? It should have come out a quarter of the price. And no disrespect to Timegate or the other 2 dev teams who certainly didn't want to make a bad game. Nobody ever wants to do that. Now, I'm sure they were up against it trying to get their segments done while the guys at Gearbox perhaps focused on something else, like shipping Borderlands 2. So pre-production aside, Gearbox contributed 1/4 of the total time to that game. And this is a Gearbox game? Really? So what does Sega have to say about this? When they were asked by DSO Gaming about this outsourcing claim, this is what they had to say. Absolutely not. The game has been developed by Gearbox Software. Other studios, like Timegate, helped Gearbox in the production of single and multiplayer. Somebody's telling porky pies, as we like to say back in my homeland. Is it Sega? Is it Randy Pitchford? Unfortunately, I think on this one, it's Sega because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You know the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth? Too many development studios fuck up an Alien franchise. Now basically this all stinks like the Alien Queen's backside. So basically to sum up, that demo we saw last year was a total bait and switch. That demo made Aliens, Colonial Marines look fantastic. Hadley's Hope looked amazing. The dropships looked amazing. The aliens moved as you expect them to. There was so much atmosphere, and all that's gone. Now, I know it was a vertical slice. Now, what a vertical slice is, of course, is you take certain parts of the game, you polish them up, and you put them together in one executable so that it's an all-encompassing experience that gives some really good tastes of the final product. Now, I'm not sure if this bait and switch is even legal, in fact. If you are a legal expert, I'd love to hear your opinion. Post it in the comments. Let me know, because this sort of thing has got to stop. Because the only people who get hurt are the gamers. The ones who've shelled out $60, $80, $140, whatever version they bought. And it damages the games industry as a whole because the trust is no longer there. It doesn't also help that the review embargo situation has become so crazy that every game, bad and good now, doesn't get a review until the day it ships. That sends out a message, people, a message that you have no faith in your game. Now, I don't know what's going to go on here. I don't know if there's going to be free DLC to actually fix the game and get rid of all the glitchiness and the bugs and improve some gameplay and give it a graphical overhaul. What I'd like to see, which will never happen, is for Gearbox and Sega to actually deliver what they promised. A great looking, enthralling aliens encounter that fits within the universe, not something that's shoddily put together, looks like it's been coded at a car boot sale, and has all the story integrity of an episode of The Kardashians. Before we finish up, I am going to respond to something from last week. Obviously, I talked about Hip Hop Gamer and the ECA with him being a brand ambassador. Now, I quoted off a number of things that he had done that, in my opinion, did not basically mark him out as a representative of gamers or as a professional journalist. And then, of course, the shitstorm started. This week on Twitter has been really quite interesting. And then somebody decided to bring up one of my own personal faux pas, which was on episode 190 of Invisible Walls, where I kind of lost it with Kojima. Let me set this in context. We were talking about this infamous video where Kojima had his team apologize to everybody for the shitty state of a Metal Gear Solid game. Now, I found that revolting. I still do. I think it's workplace bullying. People work hard, they do their best, they get paid. Should they be made to look like absolute scapegoats and fools to the media just to protect the ego of one man? No. Kojima's the head of the studio. He's the head of that franchise. Buck stops with him. And that's why I went bananas. And I basically said some things that were actually kind of inappropriate. And I sat down afterwards and I thought about them, and I had conversations with colleagues who said that I'd gone overboard. And so the next week, I basically apologized for the way I communicated the issues. Do I still stand by my feelings? Absolutely. What I will apologize for, as I said, is the way I communicated. Now that's what I do, that's what I did, that's how I move on, and I try to learn from it and not do it again. Unfortunately, this is not the case with the Hip Hop Gamer. He has offered to talk to me this week. He said he wants to do an interview. I don't want to do an interview because you still haven't proven yourself. You still have crap like Hot Girls in Gaming, which is featuring games journalists who I actually respect, or members of the media who I respect, and you're asking how good they are in bed. Shame on you, sir. Take that content down and then we can have a conversation. All right, that's the show for this week. As always, follow me on Twitter. I am @AnnoyedGamer. I want to give a shout out to Carl Bosman, who's actually one of the producers on the show. The sneaky little shit went off and recorded his own video, and it was basically a bunch of advice for Sony for the PS4 announcement. Do's and don'ts, if you will. And I watched it, and it's really good. It's sickeningly good. The boy has talent that I have to beat out of him now. Go watch it, it's brilliant. I'll see you next week. I'm out.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.